whatever that may be, and direct the sheriff to, you know, check with Schenectady County. If they're using a clerk or something out of Albany County, we should be able to do the same. I mean, it's
as long as it's not on staff, and they may have people on staff doing it.
Well, I wouldn't think that anybody has somebody on staff to handle 4 or 5.
Well, it may be the district attorney's office doing it in that county.
They could do an agreement with the Albany County Law School, or that you know, they would respond within a 24-hour period and get the information we need. It shouldn't be too difficult to find somebody, but I don't know.
You have any suggestions?
48 hours is a pretty strong request.
It happens so infrequently that the sad part of this is that the arrangement with the courts that had existed for a while really came unraveled because of that one case where the guy requested such an incredible volume of stuff that everybody got disgusted with it. I certainly don't want to speak for them, but there are people that if it was very infrequent, like, you're not researching, they identify the item that is needed.
You're retrieving.
And you get it from however you go about getting it.
If you can
And
call
make a
it
copy.
legal research or legal assistance, imagine yourself being sued by someone, okay, and you go and retain a lawyer, and he's working for you, and in the course of his representation, you find out that your lawyer is sending legal documents to your adversary. And you go to him and you say, what are you doing? And he says, I'm not doing legal research, I'm just assisting him. I'm just sending him documents to use against you. I can't do that. I mean, I have
I'm not saying you, but
well, the public defender's office, though, I'm just saying that
the court
if it's
was
not a
the court
public
should do
defender
it
client,
first.
the odds are very good. Odds are that somebody at the jail.
Going back to that.
Can we research?
We can research it another month if you want to. I mean, if you want to rescind the public defender's name or office out of that resolution for the time being, and then come back next month and put in whatever we need to do, whether we're going to have hire someone to do it, or
Well, we have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Do something.
Sounds good. Research and come back.
one more time. See what Schenectady and Albany County are doing.
I know what Albany's doing. I
Okay.
know the sheriff.
How about Fulton County? No.
Yeah, they're I gave it to them with it.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. It's not a big deal. So we'll come back next month again and review it one more time. Anything else on the subject?
Well, whatever it is, it's based on the size of our county. You know, when you got a small county that is trying to provide the service, you know, and you're looking at Albany County, who may be doing it, you know,
Albany County has a correction officer on staff.
yeah, at a greater expense. You know? And I thought that's why the legislation was there, was to sort of,
Couldn't we put some sort of a stipend in some, if we can find say we find somebody in the sheriff's office that knows how to research, couldn't we pay a stipend at that time?
good, but I mean, I happen to agree that if you need to take the public defender out of the resolution, take him out of the resolution. And then we'll deal with the remaining issue.
Yeah.
So we'll bring the resolution back next month. All right, next thing on the agenda. Jared, you're still up?
Yeah, I tell you. This is, I brought this up also concerning issues with the county court. And we have a holding cell over there. Any supervisors don't know what I'm talking about? Okay, the holding cell over there, I got a revised quote. Now, the quote I got before was quite old because I've been working on this, trying to get them to approve it for quite a while. They gave me a new quote, the company, for the gates, the doors, the locks, the keys. That's $11,333. That's just for the supplies that have DPW for the installation. I sent a letter to the judges. Nobody called, nobody responded. In fact, I talked to the county judge, and I asked him what's going on over there, because nobody's getting back to me. He said he would talk to the judge, the Supreme Court judge, and that's the last I heard.
Aren't they the first ones to treat safety?
I don't know what the reason is. They can't afford 5, 10 minutes to talk to me.
What's the problem with the current situation over there?
Excuse me?
What is the problem with the current situation there?
We got a holding cell that we used for many years. Commissioner of Corrections went around and did their little surveys on all holding areas. They went there probably a year or so ago and found out how it was set up, and they said we couldn't use it that way, that we had to subdivide the room more to make it for security reasons. And I've been going back and forth with the court over it because I wanted to do it, they wanted to do it, but they wanted to make office space in there also. Then they didn't want to do that, they wanted to make a locker room for the guards that work the building from the state. That didn't work, they just kept going back and forth. And it's kind of like, I even wrote a letter to, what's his name, Russo, who's the district judge. They don't want to care. They don't want to do nothing, they don't care. And the problem we have, Tom, is when they come to the building, whether you're a deputy or a correction officer, you got an inmate, when you come in that door, you have to take your weapon off right at that door in front of the inmate in the public area. You got to put your weapon out of your holster and put it in the gun box. And then you walk around the building with no weapon on, in a public building with an inmate. And it's a public building. You can walk in and, you know, open the door for somebody else to come in another door, or they have a gun. What are you going to do? Ridiculous.
What are the wishes of the committee?
Well, you gotta to handle the issue.
Want to authorize the sheriff to spend the money? To do the modifications so that his officers aren't walking around unprotected?
I'll sponsor.
Kirby, second? Any further discussion? Wishes of the committee? Move it? Move it. Move on board? Alrighty. Next thing on the agenda is a resolution. Resolution authorizing chairman to sign agreement Centric Services Frontier Share by sponsor. I need a second. Greg? Discussion? Wishes of the committee?
Move it.
Move it. Next resolution, a resolution authorizing the chairman to sign agreement and amending 2013 operating budget, 2012 EMPG funds, emergency management. I sponsor. Need a second. Larry? Discussion? Wishes of the committee? Move it. Next resolution, resolution authorizing chairman to sign program agreements, Youth Initiative Program and Youth Development Delinquency Prevention Service, Youth Alternative and Incarceration Monitoring Services. I sponsor. Need a second. Greg? Discussion? Wish of the committee? Move it. Next resolution is a resolution authorizing chairman to sign program agreement, special delinquency prevention and youth development delinquency prevention program recreation. I sponsor. Need a second. Herb?
Yep.
Discussion? Wish of the committee?
Move it.
Move it. Next resolution, resolution authorizing chairman to sign agreement resource allocation plan youth bureau. I sponsor. Need a second. Larry? Discussion? Wish of the committee? Move it. And the last resolution, a resolution authorizing donation of dishwasher. This is the dishwasher we talked about last month, but the resolution that we made to the full board. So I sponsor. I believe Herb, you want a second? Any further discussion? Wish of the committee? Move it. Anything under other? Not motion to adjourn? Oh.
I got that, real quick. passed a resolution back, I think when, it was probably still Gary Nessel, 2010. SHSP funds from FEMA, or I'm sorry, from the state. We had $61,624 left from the 2010 funds. So, I talked to Brian, I talked to John, and I think we need to go back out to a whole resolution for all the stuff. So we're just gonna go real quick, give a list of what we got, so you know we're spending the money on, where's it going. And actually, we just got an award letter Thursday. So we got awarded another 80,000 for this year. So.
Was it allocated for anything prior to that?
No, I have to fill out the paperwork what we're going to allocate for this, but the new funds. The old funds was allocated for upgrading when they redid the microwave system years ago, they didn't put a microwave down here at EOC, so the big dispatch console downstairs doesn't work anymore. We're able to do it a cheaper way, a cheaper route, so we're going to reallocate this money. The first thing, which I'm sure some of you have probably heard the scuttlebutt, was closed circuit TV cameras for this building. Because EOC's in this building, Homeland Security said, yeah, we'll give you money to buy it, put them wherever you want. So it actually is going to benefit DSS, DMV, clerk's office, and the whole building will be covered by a closed circuit TV camera that'll record. So we're in the process of getting close to that. The countywide SWAT team needed microphones. You ever see a SWAT team that got throat mics, connect their radios? They didn't have those. That was some money. We're going to upgrade the radio console for the Amsterdam Police Department. They dispatch, do all the 911 down there. So they got an old radio console down there. It's going to be replaced. The Sheriff's Department, we're going to buy new computers for the dispatch center. Upgrade the dispatch center computers. Sorry, on screen. Fort Platte PD needed a new station radio. They couldn't afford to purchase one. And we're going to upgrade their camera system at the station as well. St. Johnsville needed a patrol car computer. We're in the bar. We'll be able to get one of those for them. Canterbury PD needed some mics for the radios. We're going to get those. And then the Sheriff's Office, Canterbury PD, and Fort Platte PD all expressed interest in getting a body camera. What it is, it's a small little camera attaches to the officer's pocket mic.
You put it in there, you see that shirt front, it clips on. It's about the size of a phone above these guys. You're here, there. Real small tiny camera that records. It has a SIM card in it, and it does video, still pictures, and voice. So it's very inexpensive. It's a great tool to have for liability reasons, let alone in case something happens to the office.
So that left us with about $17,000 left. Fulton County reached out to me. They're interested in doing a joint venture in a mobile command post. Neither one of us can really see purchasing one for the county, the limited amount of times we would use it. We have the old RV, but the cost of upkeeping it is getting really expensive. We reached out to Alpenhaus, and they were very helpful. They got us a $36,000 camper, toy hauler, opens up in the back for $16,000. So we're going to use this money to buy that aspect of it. And Fulton County, if we can come to an agreement, is going to purchase all the radios for it and furniture. So it'll save both counties some money, and we'll have a decent command post for any emergencies the sheriff may have, or fire departments, or whatever else. So that's just an update. And it didn't flood, just so you know. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Anything else on the other? Not the motion to adjourn? Larry? Greg?
Okay, we'll call our Health and Human Services meeting to order. Privilege of the committee chair, committee members, board of supervisors to discuss items of interest, any?
Moving on, our first resolution is a resolution awarding transportation services bid number 3-13, public health. I sponsored, needs a second. Ron, under discussion, I mean, we can, everybody has the letter that Chairman Thayer had, we can talk about that all night, or just move the resolution through and beat it up at the full board meeting.
Move it.
What you want to discuss?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I was contacted by the attorney for Blue Line. I spoke to him very briefly at about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and they're planning to send some more information in advance of the full board meeting. I don't know exactly what.
And again, we can talk about it, but we'll talk about something and then we'll get some more info and beat it up some more. We might as well just let it ride out to 2 weeks till we get to the full board, unless you...
What are you letting ride out? Are you leaving the resolution like it is, or are you passing it to the full board with my recommendation?
No, my suggestion is pass it to the full board with no, just leaving it blank and then do the amendments at the full board.
Okay, I just clarified.
Unless the committee doesn't want to. All right. So, all those in favor of doing that?
Aye.
Aye. Against? I guess that means we'll move it to the full board. Resolution to amend the 2013 budget and upgrade the position, Department of Social Services. I sponsored, needs a second. On the committee, anyone? Anyone? Dominic? Okay, discussion on this resolution. I mean, Mike, if you want to explain, but I think it's pretty clear what you're trying to do.
Yeah, just give you a brief on where we are. I think many are familiar with the work experience program. It was something we started this time last year in the city of Amsterdam. And then it was a subject of my commissioner's luncheon in November, where a lot of you came and attended that. So since we started in Amsterdam in early summer when we got going, we've expanded the work sites to include, there's 15 work sites now throughout the county. A lot of villages, a lot of nonprofits, and we have 5 more organizations that we're talking to that are interested. So this has taken a lot of human capital to get this going. There's a lot of work on the ground, developing work sites, talking to village mayors, DPW heads, and it's kind of doing a sales call. Have we got a deal for you? You know, if you'll work with us, you can help us get clients off the welfare rolls and move into a job. Since the beginning of this year, we've had 37 people participate in the program. We've had, success we've had. We have 21 that are currently active. 3 have been hired by the site themselves. Amsterdam hired a few, the city did, Parks and Recreation. We've had a couple of villages also hired. We've had 4 that have gotten jobs unrelated to the website, so they've gone out and found private employment somewhere else. 5 have been sanctioned because they didn't participate. And 4 have been asked to close their case. And what's happened, before we had a very aggressive WEP program, a work experience program, we were telling clients they were going to be assigned to work experience programs, but we didn't have any. And they knew we didn't. The word on the street was, yeah, they'll tell you you're going to be assigned to a work experience program, but I'm not on one, you're not on one. So, and that word was out there. When we started in Amsterdam, when we had that first orientation, we had 3 get up in orientation say, I'm going to close my case. So there's a word out that you will go to work. And so if you're working under the table, if you're doing something else, that's going to cut into it. So there's a prevention there. We're actually seeing it reduce that way. So it's been very successful, but the thing is I need somebody to manage it. It's very intensive, human resource-wise. What I don't want is to start having service failures to where we can't talk to mayors and, and we start unraveling this. I have somebody in mind that can do this, and I think to move forward and to grow this program, it's really important we restore that. The reimbursement rate is 65% federal, and 35% local, there's no state reimbursement. But the money you're saving, you close the safety net case alone, just one case, locally you're saving $6,000. 71% safety net is local money, so it pays for itself.
Mike, I utilized this program a few years back in the city of Amsterdam at the Amsterdam Municipal Golf Course. But we had to have a department head keep their time and monitor what they were doing. Do we still do that?
That's the only requirement really, is if somebody watches over,
Well, to make sure
takes their
that
time,
they
make
do
sure
it.
they're there.
Okay.
Because when they don't show up,
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying.
it's not, they don't show up, and they don't have a good reason, then we sanction them, and we get them off that.
Well, the three I had were pretty good, but then they went to prison,
But what you're actually talking about here is somebody coordinating that whole effort.
Yeah, working with
It's
the
not,
unit.
it's not just keeping the time card, because that happens on site with either the DPW or the,
Yeah.
whoever they're working with.
This is developing the sites, going out, working with mayors and working with nonprofits. We've got them at OFA, we've got them working in the Meals for Wheels. Every day we find another option, another unit, we're working with Haven of Hope. They're starting a farm here, a homeless type shelter. We're working with them, so like I say, it's a lot of cold door knocking. And then, the pitch is you get somebody to help you out. Our clients are sometimes very challenging, so we tell them that, things may not always work out. Let us know right away. We'll get you another one. We're not trying to saddle anybody with problems. So a lot of communication, to answer your question, a lot of communication with those organizations. I'd ask for you to invest in this. I think it's worth it. It's really putting money back in our coffers. And I'd like to advance it, I'd like to grow it.
Okay,
You got till the next budget.
anybody else?
Yeah, just a question. I know you had a meeting here earlier in the year discussing this subject here. What's the participation in the private sector? Have any participation? Any of these people moved on to the private sector? I think you
Yes,
mentioned.
we have 4 that moved on. I don't know exactly where they went, I can find that out, but
Yeah,
some of them were hired directly by the sites too.
I think that's the ultimate goal, isn't it, to move them on to a private sector job and eliminate it from the roles, yeah. Okay, that's all.
That's the goal. The goal is that we don't want them sticking around for 6, 7 months, because if they're staying around that long, there's something wrong. They get comfortable in the work, they get comfortable working for Mayor Barton up at Fort Plank, there's something wrong.
All right.
And he's one of our champions, believe me, so.
Okay.
Move it.
Flavor, move it? All right, good. That moves, that's it. Other, anybody?
Motion.
Motion to adjourn, Ron, second? Second? Ron? All those in favor? That's it.
All right, I'd like to call the General Services Committee to order. First item on the agenda is the discussion item. Do you have any? All right, hearing none. The next item on discussion is a presentation from Doug Green on solid waste.
Is this looking for an executive session first of all?
Yes. Okay,
Let's do two.
Can we go on business?
Let's do 2 and 3.
You want to
You're right.
move on with the regular business?
Do 2 and 3.
Can we do our?
All right, so we'll do the other 2 items. All right. First resolution is authorizing easement from Montgomery County Sanitary Sewage District Number 1. I sponsored that. Do we have a second? Tom?
Oh, I'm not even,
Larry? Discussion?
Move it.
Wish of the committee? Move it on. Yes. John.
Could somebody explain exactly where this property is? I full picture of 495 Old Forest Lake Road.
Tom, can you just-
Elm Tree, it's the Elm Tree, the former Elm Tree Hall.
Okay.
Once upon a time, what's my house? Well, once upon a time, there was a restaurant there, and the restaurateur asked permission to he had to put a sewer line in that connected to our main sewer district at his expense. I'm saying it right, I don't believe there was ever an easement
No.
granted to that, so there's now a buyer that wants to reestablish his property and open it back up as a restaurant, but he wants an easement so that he can fix the darn thing if he ever needed to. So, we don't want to run into issues with that before from 30 years ago, where easements haven't been, so we're trying to do it properly here and have an easement that comes before our board, and then ultimately, passes to.
Thank you, Chair.
All set, Ken? Any other questions? Wishes of the committee?
Move it.
Move it. Excuse me, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, second resolution is creating a new position in data processing, database administrator. I sponsored that. Do we have a second? Brian? Discussion?
Move it.
Move it. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Resolution's passed. So we'll go back to our discussion item with solid waste. We have a motion to go into executive session.
I make
The purpose.
For the purpose of
a Chairman?
Well, it's gonna discuss
Got some possible vendors, right?
possible vendor.
Fine,
All right, potential vendor. Yes.
If I could, just before you go into that, I want to mention that there are members of the solid waste committee are here, and if it's okay,
I'd
they'd
like
like
them-
to join the discussion.
I'd like them to stay also. That's correct.
we have
So
a
I,
second.
do I have a second for going into executive session? Brian? Okay. What? We're on. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?